Hey everyone, Nick Berlin. Today I'm going to talk about tool bags and what I keep in them. On my right hand side, I always keep a pencil in this little pouch right here. And I usually try and keep at least 2 or 3, and I'll usually keep some on the left hand side over here too. That way, if I need a mark with either hand, I've always got a pencil handy. So right here, I've got 3 pencils. I also have a Sharpie, and then I keep my nail set. Never know when you're gonna need this thing. So I like to keep it nice and handy. So that's what I keep in that front pouch. And then in this little pouch right here, I usually keep a piece of corner bead from a rounded drywall. That way I can actually trace that profile on the things. I also keep a couple different sets of Allen wrenches. I actually got these at Walmart for like, I think $1. So I just keep those in there. And then I have a smattering of random nails that I've been living in here. And I'm not super happy with that. That needs to change, but yeah, just lots of nails in there. In this other pocket right here, I keep this protractor for finding my different angles, as well as this little jig from Bench Dog that lets you know where to mark for your rounded corners. And then I also keep this little jig that I made that gives me a 1/4 inch reveal. So it looks like just a piece of MDF, right? But I've got it set up so that way I can just stick this up into a corner and mark my 1/4 inch reveal. I'm planning on making something better than this because I don't know if you can see, but the MDF, the corners just wear with time. So now when I'm marking, it's not always as sharp of a corner as I want it to be. So I'm thinking of making something out of plastic or metal. But anyways, that's what I keep in there. And then, naturally, you've got to have some snacks. So granola bar, sometimes those live in there. I always like to keep a little piece of sandpaper just for making some little fine adjustments. And then normally when I'm doing baseboard, I'll keep a scrap piece of baseboard in there as well. So that way when I'm using my laser, I can just stick this up and put my laser off of that, and that way I don't have to do any math when it comes to making adjustments for having another piece of base on the wall. So, going on, naturally, in the bottom of the bag, there's all sorts of dusties. But down in the bag, always you're gonna have like a couple random nails and a bunch of sawdust. Now on the back side, I have a nail, not a nail. On the back side, I have a hammer loop right here, and I keep a rubber mallet. And I keep this on the right-hand side because I'm right-handed, and I use my rubber mallet more than I use a real hammer. That way, you've got this nice rubber end. I like this because I can hit baseboard or other different things to get it into place without marring the surface. So I use this all the time. Also, I have a mask in here for when I'm cutting MDF or particle board, and I want to be able to not get the weirdest snot sickles you've ever seen. This one's super dusty though, so I need to wash this. But then, usually in this pouch right here, I actually keep nails. So right now I've got 15 gauge and there's a bunch of 18 gauge in there. This is my main nail pouch that I keep nails in. And then right here, I keep safety glasses, and then I actually keep my electronic protractor in here, my electronic angle finder, but the batteries died and I took it out. So anyways, that's normally where that lives. Also, this isn't really my tool bags, but I always keep my tape measure on my right hip. I guess you could put it on this little thing right here, but it just doesn't seem as natural to me as keeping it right here. You can see my pockets wear out from having tape measures there. I really love these DeWalt 25 footers. I actually have loved this one a little bit too much. It's actually missing some of the markings. I think I've had this one for a couple of years, but the standout on these is amazing. I just really like these. I think I've got 5 of them or so floating around. Also not in my tool bags, but on my right-hand side, I keep a Milwaukee Fastback, and this is the actual like pocket knife blade one. This costs about $15. I love this thing. I use it for, oh man, so much stuff. I use it all the time, and I always use it wrong. Like if the Boy Scouts were watching me, they would probably be really upset with me. You can see I've got a nice little, the tip of it's broken off from slamming into some tile once. Yeah, I love this thing, I've used this thing, but it just lives right here in this pocket. Also on the right side, I keep a Milwaukee Fastback. Now this is the one that's got the razor blade. So same thing, you can open and close it with just one hand, which is really handy if you're, doing stuff with your other hand. But this one also has a little screwdriver attachment right here. So I can have the flat as well as the Phillips. And I love having that because it comes in handy. I mean, you'll see on the other side of my bags I keep a set of screwdrivers, but if I'm out and about, I like having that. Now flipping over to my left side, right here I keep my speed square. It's just always ready to go, and I can mark with my right hand. That's just where that lives. Also, I keep this chisel, and this thing is destroyed. This is a demolition chisel, so I don't use this for fine chiseling. This is for breaking stuff and prying stuff and just beating on stuff. So I keep that chisel in this pocket as well as one of these little Harbor Freight Japanese pool saws. It's got that flexible blade and it's got the kerf that goes in, the teeth go in, so that way you can do a flush cut where it won't mar whatever you're resting the blade on. So I always keep one of those there. And then I keep a set of screwdrivers, so Phillips and flathead. And then I keep in here my 5-in-1 tool. I use this thing all the time for all the different things. 5-in-1 is a lie, it's more like 1,000,000-in-1. So anyways, I keep that here in this left side, and then I keep a little pair of nips. This is for pulling nails, or nipping nails off. Always comes in handy. I just keep it on that left-hand side. And then also here in the left, this kind of floats. This is sometimes on the left and sometimes it's on the right, but this is an electronic tape measure. A laser tape measure. So I can turn this on, I can get a point, and it's accurate up to a 32nd of an inch. So love this thing. Saves me so much time when I'm doing bass. Actually, Spencer Lewis at Insider Carpentry, he's the one that actually got me using one of these. And I forgot to mention, but, oh, I forget his name. But with Finished Carpentry TV, he's the one that taught me about these. And these have changed my life. I love these things. Going back to what else I keep in here. Naturally, you've got the random sawdust and different things. And this is just garbage. And a wooden pencil that I think I used once about 6 months ago. Anyways, garbage, and it's time to clean these out. Also on this side, I keep a couple of nail sets right here, various sizes. And in this front pouch, also deep in here, I keep my favorite nail. Love this thing. I've had it for years. I use this for taking the door pins out of hinges. It's a little bit narrower than the door hinge pin, so that way it can slide in and it doesn't get stuck. Love this thing. You can see my custom rounded off tip. Did that by hitting it with a hammer. Anyways, this thing is great. I recommend this to everybody. This is my favorite nail. I use it all the time. So that stays in there. And then, what else do I got in here? I don't even know. Oh, there's a little hinge pin. I usually have one of those floating around just in case one gets lost, which I don't think I've ever had one get lost, so I don't know necessarily why I keep that, but there it is. I also keep a 20-ounce ripping claw hammer. This one lived outside. I accidentally abandoned it in my brother's house when I built his deck, and it got snowed on and lived in the backyard for a while. Still in pretty decent shape for spending a winter all alone in the elements of Utah. So, not too bad, but I keep this on the left-hand side because I don't use it that often. So that's why it stays over here. Then on the back side, right here, I actually keep a stud finder. That's where that lives. It's a good little tool to have. Oh, thinking of that, I actually forgot to mention, back right here, I keep a little compass. This is on the right side of my tool bags, but I keep this little compass for scribing and all the different other things that you can use that for. It's missing its lead though right now, so I need to replace that. See, it's got the point but no pencil lead. So I need to replace that, but that is where that lives. Now, you might be wondering, Nick, what's in this front pouch right here? It is an assortment of screws and nails. If I'm doing any demo work, I pull out a screw, drywall screw, usually always goes into this pouch. So this is mostly just garbage, is what it really is. Mostly just garbage. There's a bunch of duplex nails from when I'm hanging a door, and you pull this out. Naturally, I want to stick them somewhere, so they normally just go in there, and I just really need to empty that out. One last thing I forgot to mention is this top pocket right here, I actually keep empty except for my cell phone. That's where that lives. That way I can take calls or send off texts and change the music whenever I need to. I would pull it out, but my phone is actually recording this video. One thing to not forget is knee pads. These are just cheap little $5 ones. I had some from Walmart for a long time. Eventually the pads kind of got wore out. These ones are from Lowe's. These pads are actually getting a little skinny, like right where the knee is, so it's about time to replace them. But these little $5 pads, I love them because there's just the one strap, they actually just stay in place on my knees. I found that when you have the ones with the two straps, at least on my knees for whatever reason, they start to slide down my shins. And I don't like that. I want them to stay where they're supposed to be. I also don't like spending a lot of money on them, so I just spend the $5 and it's like sitting on a cloud, or kneeling on a cloud, I should say. So here's just a quick overview of everything that I pulled out of my tool bags. Like, it's really heavy. Once the tool bags come off for the day, it's not something I usually want to put back on. I don't know if I'm just weak sauce, but anyways. These are actually Kobalt brand bags. I got them at Lowe's. For this pouch, it was $20. This pouch was about $20 too. And the belt, I think, was 10 or 15. So it's a pretty inexpensive setup to get into. It's not an Occidental bag. I don't know if I know what I want in my bags yet, so I just have a hard time dropping that much money on something when I'm still figuring out where I want things. Also, so you know, this setup is constantly changing. I'll tweak it just a little bit here and there. I'll have a different tool or something depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I have a water bottle in there. But the reason why I'm actually tearing all this stuff apart is this bag started to rip on me. I've had this for about 7 months or so, and you can see where the belt goes. This is all nice and loose and flappy now. So I've got a little over half of the seams have ripped on this, so this isn't gonna last much longer. I've got another one I'm gonna replace it with. So that's why I'm taking these all off. If you have any suggestions for a must-have tool that you keep in your tool bags, please let me know. I'm open to learning more from you guys. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, I'll put links in the description below for a bunch of these different tools. If it's not the exact same one, it'll be really close, so it'll do the same thing. When you buy from those links, I get money and you don't spend any extra money than you already would have spent anyways. So it's a win-win for me and for you, I guess, because you're getting a tool. So it's always a win. But thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments below, as well as make sure you hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thanks.